What up, Bears fans? Your boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360. Welcome to the post-game show, the post-game wrap-up. We're going to talk about it. We're going to hear your voice, hear your frustrations as the Bears drop their week 3 matchup versus the Indianapolis Colts. 21-16 at Indy. That and so much more. Y'all know what's next. We're going to cue the intro maestro. Do me a favor, run those likes up. Let's get the chat going, and let's do it.
Life like chess move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I fill my teeth with diamonds. The Lord to put me through some tests so I can learn my lesson. They take advantage when you cool, I can't control aggression. We go back and forth talking, so who we really blaming? Tell me to change, I'm not myself, and then you start complaining. Can't understand your situation if you had a main. But you cost me for some shots, we barely knew it.
That we're back, Bears fans. Hope you can see me. Let me see if we can get it straight. Yeah, you can see me. Welcome to the post-game show. I'm going to start trying to do this on the post-game because I feel like we get better participation in the post-game. Everybody want to hear everybody's opinion, so I'm going to be quick to get to the chat. Give me a second. Let's talk about the stat line real fast. Of course, statistically, Caleb Williams' best passing game in terms of yardage. We can't skip over that. I'm going to get to the numbers here in a second. Wait on it to pull up. So in the passing game, statistically, Caleb Williams' best game. Let me get to it. Where you at? Here we go. So 33 for 52, 363 yards, average 7 yards per interceptions. Of course, his long was 47 yards. Still a few misses on the deep balls, but then he connected on some deep balls as well. Picked up from last week, I thought was pretty well. He kind of built on what was last week, but also still similar to last week, a couple of interceptions. Wasn't very good in that department, right? So made some bad decisions. And I think one of them, can't wait to get to the film on Tuesday. I think one of them was probably third or fourth progression. I like the idea that he was getting to that progression, actually making a read in the full field, if that's indeed the case. But when it's not there, you can't throw that ball. Now, I'll say something about it. Now, again, I can't wait to get to the film and make sure it's indeed third or fourth or fifth progression. But it's about that read. That read was not coming towards his eyes. So it was like he had to read the full length of the field. And you guys know, anybody that's been following the channel for any significant amount of time, last year when it came to Justin Fields and Luke Getsy, help your quarterback by bringing the routes to his eyes. So if that was definitely a right to left read, but if it was an out pattern going away from his eyes and he had to track the player versus the route actually coming into his line of sight, then I'm going to be Waldron on that. So that's that. From that, Caleb Williams, 33 for 63.5% completion rate percentage, which is not bad. I think the league average last year was like 62 or so, somewhere in that neighborhood. I think if you upward or north of like 65, then you're playing pretty decent in the NFL. So nothing horrible there. We just got to take the interception off the board. I still believe 52 attempts is a bit much for a rookie, but no one would be complaining if he didn't have the 2 interceptions and we won the game. So, and it's just the caveat to that, and we'll get. I still don't and this is a personal thing, I don't believe at this point in his career, 3 games into his NFL career, this is the play style that we need to be playing with to actually win the ball games. Now, if we're just trying to get numbers, we're trying to get stats, then by all means throw the ball all over the yard. But if the idea is to win the game, I still don't believe this is the play style be playing with or playing like, or however you want to describe it, to win ball games. This is not it. 52 attempts, rookies. That's just too much football that he hasn't seen yet. So let me know what you guys' thoughts on that. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chats if you think it's just right. Those amount of attempts is just right. Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat. 1 if it's just right, or 2 if it's too much. 1 if it's just right, 2 if it's too much in the chat in terms of the number of attempts. Because again, I think we still are putting too much on a rookie quarterback to start his career, especially for a team that has a good defense. Albeit we gave up 21 points this week. You know what I'm saying? The 2 turnovers kind of account for that. Some of those points, right? I don't know how many points were off of turnovers that they ended up getting, but we don't turn the ball over and we play ball possession or time or possession style football, then I think we win the game. And we win them pretty handily, right? It's like we control the clock, we beat teams down, we wear them down in the run game. It's not even close. So let me know what you think in the chat. I'm gonna go to chat real fast. What is it? Too much? It's too late? It's not enough? What are we doing? What are we thinking? My man Bishop joining us from the squad. Let me bring Bishop up. There we go.
Coach?
Bishop, how you feeling, man? Bears lose, drop it 21 to 16. I think it's just entertaining football. This is part of the process. This is a part of the progress. But give me your initial thoughts, Bishop.
Like I said, it's a process. It's a rookie quarterback. Shane Waldron. I think my process is this: offensive line is not good enough for Shane Waldron's route tree. They take too long to develop. Caleb has to sit in the pocket for at least 3 seconds, and that pocket collapses almost immediately. Shane got away from the bootleg for the 3rd week in a row. I just think this is I just don't think that the play style is too close to the play calling is too close to how Luke Getsy was. So it makes me think, like, who really is control or dictates to the offense on the coaching staff? Because it's not. It looks too close to what we had before.
Yeah, I said last week because it made me have the same thought. I was like, well, here's the 2nd coordinator in a row, and it's so far off from what Shane likes to do. It's leading me to believe that they are micromanaging the play style. And then the other part was going back to the quote prior to or when Matt Eberflus came aboard, that Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay style offense, because it was tough to defend. So if you're trying to force the coordinators, well, it makes sense with Luke Getsy. That's what he called. But this is not Shane's identity. So it makes me kind of give Matt Eberflus the side eye, saying, hey, you're forcing the style of play on these OCs, and this is not who we are. And then the fact that we have 3 good tight ends that we could run 12 and 13 personnel with, ball control, run off tackle, and like you said, run the play action game and get our yards that way. So I'll let you finish your thought while I'm inviting others to the chat.
No, 100%. We saw the good play from the tight ends. That's Shane Waldron, right? Tight end over the middle. The quick outs to the right wide receivers, whether it was DJ Moore or Roma Dunze. Big shout out to Roma Dunze. Congratulations to both Caleb and Rome for getting their first touchdowns of the career, first in many.
Yep.
What I will say is this: they're utilizing their personnel incorrectly when it comes down to the running backs. Roshan Johnson should be getting Khalil Herbert's touches. Khalil Herbert has not been good since Montgomery left, because Montgomery was the one chipping at the defense, and when it was Khalil Herbert, the defense was already chipped away. There's nothing else to stop you, so he was getting the runs in. All he's been doing so far is just getting us guaranteed 2 yards. They gave him the ball
Right.
twice on the 2 yard line. He couldn't get 1 yard. You know, so there's a problem with Khalil Herbert. You got like I don't see him being a Bear after this offseason. Roshan Johnson is still running like his hair is on fire, so I like that. Um, DJ Moore is a tough guy. I just think this offense looks. It's still early in the season. I think they're in the process of still throwing away
Right.
plays that don't work. The fake pitch to the running back and then a 180 turnaround to throw a quick slant or a quick screen, that play needs to go. That's too cute of a play.
Right.
It's a college play.
Yeah.
The strip sack, I do want to talk about that. The When I looked at the replays and everything, the left tackle and left guard were blocking the same person while they left out the edge to Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet's a good run blocker. He's not that great of a pass blocker in that situation. So why isn't Braxton Jones chip blocking for him and then come back to his assignment just in case? You
Yeah.
know,
Well, they had Cole and Mercedes Lewis out to that
yeah.
side
Well,
at
yeah,
that
they had,
time. So
yeah,
so it's like it's they gave the personnel we want, right? 12
mhm.
personnel. But then if you go 12 personnel, you tell Mercedes and Cole, they got them. You should
Well
win it.
then, here's the thing: when we was in 13 personnel, we try to get to Everett in the end zone. Why were Everett and Kokomet in the same spot? Why are we throwing two seam routes to a tight end in 13 personnel? It's questions like that just it makes me
Yeah.
believe. I'm like, this isn't like what we were talking about before, coach. Is like this isn't the Shane Waldron that was advertised.
Yeah.
This is a Shane Waldron. I feel like you said, is being micromanaged by Bears management to run the offense a certain type of way,
Yeah.
and it's like I said,
Like saying, hey, I want to get so many explosives and all that other stuff. And the point the play you referencing, I got to go back and take a look at it, but it'd be different if that play was coming off of a play action, but I don't think it was. I think it was straight drop back
it was
action,
straight
and
drop
you
back.
got
It was a seven
your three
step.
tight ends in like a trips look. Like who's winning there? You
Right,
know what I'm saying?
and,
Who's getting
and the
beat
fact
there?
that they were like 10 yards apart from each other on the same route just makes it easier for the safety.
Yeah, and
It,
I think matter of fact, all of them were to the boundary, which is the shortest part of the field right there too.
yep,
So there's no space to work, which I'm seeing is a habit with Shane anyway too. It's like some of his plays, they might work if he had them to the field. He created space because he called a play to the field versus the boundary. In that situation, you already got slower players out there, right? And you call it to the boundary instead of the field. For those that don't know, the field is the wide side. So if you're on the left hash, right, you call the play to the you call the trips or whatever they were to the right to create more space. So I mean, you don't want to do it every time, so it's not a telltale, but you have certain plays that all right, this is not going to work if I call it to the boundary because there's no space to work. So, all great points. I'm just
yeah.
tagging in what you making great points though.
No, 100%. I do want to do something that's opposite of what people expect. I want to start with the positives. Positives is I see after 52 after the volume of throws that Caleb threw, he still has a strong arm. Like
Yeah.
he was still overthrowing, deep routes, but like when you're throwing like 40 times a game, bro, your arm's a noodle at a certain point, right? And he was still
No.
showing great arm strength.
52 attempts, man.
Yeah,
63% completion rate.
that's the equivalent of like a dumbbell curl workout for like to like if you lift up a 10-pound dumbbell enough with one arm for about 30 minutes, man, you'll see how tired your arm gets. That's what it's like throwing about the ball 40 plus times. I will say
Right.
that I was very encouraged by the improvisation. There was a miss. There was a drop pass that Caleb got out. That was just a quick, like, he is a quick adjustment, flipped his sidearm throw, quick to, I think it was either DJ Moore or Carter. But I do want to say I was encouraged by Roma Dunze. Definitely, this was his coming out party. Um,
Yeah.
Caleb is, like I said, he's a rookie. This is the first month of football since November. Uh,
Right.
and like I said, it just comes down to the fact that there's a division going down on Twitter right now. Like, and let's be real, the defense played well. Like, if it weren't for that strip sack, they would have held them on 20 points for like the ninth straight game,
Yeah.
which
I
would have
think. I think again. I
been.
think that the turnovers add to the defense. So we want them to get stops after turnovers every time, but those are short fields where and certain changes where what I'm saying, defense, a good defense has a pitch count, man. And we
Mm-hmm.
talking about 3 weeks in a row where they probably have a high pitch count, which is why again it's important that Shane calls a game in a way where it's complementary football. Like you
I do
don't
want
want to start
to. I do
getting
want to.
banged up. Go
I do
ahead.
want to respond to this comment represents what
BCB.
what yeah what I was seeing on Twitter.
CBP, I'm sorry.
And like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I respect it. The thing is, though, it's like, we come from a franchise that I think is very divided right now, and I think the people who are going for Justin Fields, the people that wanted Justin Fields, and I understand the sentiment. I was one of them too until a certain turning point when it came to the combine, where it's like, based on the interviews that was going on, it just looked like it was going to be Caleb Williams, right? So, I wanted more. I wanted Justin Fields just like the next guy, because it's like, it's a double, it's a quarterback, But
Right.
the reality of it is this, right? You can't expect, when you put the Bears aren't making the game easy for Caleb as any ordinary rookie. They're treating him like a veteran. They're putting
Right.
the game on his shoulders.
Right.
On top of that, too, when you go back to the personnel usage, when you look at the running backs, we have a running back by committee again. DeAndre Swift has never been a between the hash marks runner, right?
Yeah.
And nor do we have the offensive line to even open up gaps in the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to use DeAndre Swift as a bailout pass flat option, a running back screen option, or a halfback toss, or a running back counter, when it comes down to blocking schemes. Um, so I see Roshan Johnson. Like I said, Roshan. It needs to be a 1-2 thing between Roshan and let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. Does that sound better?
Say
Does that sound
again.
better, Coach?
It still sound like you have your you using the.
You know what? The audio, it's funny, the settings automatically changed my stuff for some reason. I don't know why it did. And it's
Yeah,
not
it'll if I'm not on for a while, it'll change mine too. Either way, you can keep going while you work on it. But no, those are all good points. All good points you're making. I agree 1,000%. Especially, I mean, the division in the Bears fans, Bears Twitter, that's not going to stop. You're not going to cure that disease. It is what it is. Like it's part of being a Bears fan. If you've been a Bears fan long enough, you'll know. I think the division is misunderstood. The divisiveness or the division amongst Bears fans is misunderstood. And y'all forgive me. I spent the last probably 12 hours under the weather. So for me to be on the small miracle, it's not the Caleb Williams, Justin Fields conversation that people think they're having. You know what I'm saying? I think it's comical. It's funny because it's a carousel of spinning the block, right? So at one point, after once the season started and we were getting going, there was a spinning of the block for Caleb Williams. Like, we got him now. We're in camp. We got him, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I'm saying? The Justin Fields supporters are getting a lick back because the Steelers are, you know what I'm saying? The Steelers are 3-0. And watch this. Here's the part about it that's probably, I don't care so much. I'm not emotionally invested like that because I got other things to put my emotions into, football related. So I just call it like it is, especially this season. The funny thing is the Steelers are 3-0 because Justin is playing well, managing the game, taking shots where they present themselves, but they're playing the style of ball that we're saying that we should be playing here. That's it. They're relying on the run game. They're relying on their defense, and they're taking shots when they present themselves. You know what I'm saying? Arthur Smith is setting things up and running the ball. I don't know what the stats are on them running the ball, but I saw Najee Harris and the committee of running backs have a lot of carries today. And that's the whole point. And that was the whole point when Justin was here. There's a style of play that fits you know what I'm saying? There's a style of play that fits a young football team and or a young quarterback that you play with while they develop, and you try not to put too much on them instantly. Now, again, the stat boys aren't going to care because their focus is going to be on 363, 65%, 2 touchdowns. They'll largely ignore the 2 interceptions, which I care less about. Honestly, I'm okay with the stat line, especially if we win. Especially if we win. 363. The average pass was 7 in an attempt. So I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with, if I go to running backs now and running back stats and look at it, Khalil Herbert, the running back by committee. 2 things I want to say about that. One, in terms of the game, disappointed in the loss. 3 backs is doing too much. Hey, but the pressure is up. Let's get the pressure up, and we'll listen in and see what coach is talking about.
Yes, sir. Afterward was just this missed opportunities to win that game. The first thing we have to do is honor the football. We got to honor the ball. That's the most important thing in winning. And we have to do a good job. And then once we do get taken,
can y'all hear it?
Score off those opportunities, and that was the difference in the game to me. They scored on those opportunities, and we did not. And so that's important that we do that going forward. I was pleased with a lot of good things.
Do you have audio? Can you hear it, Coach?
The ball. I thought Caleb and got it to a lot
All
of
right.
receivers today. I thought we were committed to the run. More committed to the run. I know those last 2 guys.
I hear it through your mic. Do you want to mute your mic so we get a single audio?
Let me see. Here we go.
I was proud of the defense fought. Defense fought through the game. I had a couple of nice takeaways. Had a nice 4th down stop after some sudden changes. Had a nice turnover in the red zone down there to stop a score. So I was proud of that. But overall, it's just got to be better. We got to do a better job as a team. Honoring the football, and and just doing the details right and playing better. So again, my hats off to the Colts. They won the game, and but we left one out there today. What were your thoughts on the option call there? Yeah, so we go to Herbert up the middle. We had the wildcat play in the first one. They ran a couple dive plays in there and got it to the inside the 1, just inside the 1 there. And they were in big people, and we like to play. We like to play. We just got to get to the second level, get to the linebacker there, zone up to him and get him there on that. We were going to pitch off the in man line of scrimmage, and we got to execute better.
Well, guys in the locker room, so the look wasn't ideal from what the Colts showed you defensively. What was your impression?
Yeah. I don't know that. I don't know that because I got to look at the tape. But I know the design of the play was to go against that personnel group.
Timeout there after that first touchdown with the field goal, taking the team on, sent out the 2-point.
Yeah.
What was the timeout about there?
Yeah, I mean, we have to be better. We have to be better there. First of all, it wasn't as good as it should be in terms of our communication there. But we wanted to get a good play on there as well, and we like to play. It just didn't work out on that particular one. But again, we have to be better, stay ahead of it better, be better there.
When you say communication, you mean from the coaching standpoint, from the player standpoint?
No, that's on the coaches. On the coaches, we got to be better there from the top to the bottom. From upstairs down to the bottom. So we got to do a better job there.
And then the timeout right before the Taylor touchdown, was that just giving you guys a breather? What was something you didn't like out there?
No, I'm just conserving time. I'm just conserving time there. They're going to try to milk as much time as they can, and I was just conserving time there to give us a chance. And at the end of the day, we did have a chance. I thought we did a really good job of scoring on 4th and 1 down there before the 2-minute, because we were going to be onside if it got inside the 2-minute. But then we switched our mind and went to kick it deep. We kicked it deep, and they took a knee. So now we got 2:01, and we got a timeout. And if we do a good job on the on defense, which we first it was 2nd and 6, which is not ideal. And then they ran the power, the bounce play, and JT got outside on us. So we just got to execute better on defense. But if we went 3 and out there, we'd have had 50 some seconds there with the ball coming back, and not, it's not on the onside part. We kicked it deep, so we'd have a better field position. So we felt good about that right there in terms of that operation. We just got to get the ball back for the offense.
Did you want Cairo to put it to the back of the end zone there, ideally?
We wanted him to kick it in the end zone, kick it as far as he can. That was the plan there, and he did a good job.
Caleb threw over 50 passes today. Last week there were about as many fast plays called. Is that the plan in terms of a successful idea for what you guys want to get done, or is that just game flow?
Yeah, it's a little bit game flow. I mean, we ended up having 28 runs. Is that right? Something like that. I believe it was 28. Is that right, guys? Yeah, 28. So you get it up there, close to 30. That's a pretty good snip right there. So again, we want to do a better job efficiently running the football, and that starts with not taking negative plays. But again, I think we're more committed to it today. And if we didn't have those 2-minute drives at the end, I think we would have been more committed to it in terms of getting it done at the end.
The personnel group was in the run game. A lot of runs out of 11, some passes out of 13. Is that just trying to stay ahead of what you think the defense is going to do?
Yeah, that's all by design. What we think they're going to do in terms of their scheme. A lot of times people get in base, and we got better matchups that we need, in terms of 13 personnel. But again, we got to execute better on offense, on defense, and kicking game. We had the one offsides, that led to a touchdown there. On the punt return team, it was less than 5, so they tried the old, head bob and all that, and they got us on it. And so we have to do a better job there.
Matt, what do you sense is inhibiting the efficiency of the
Hey, shout out to Herb Howe. He always asks great questions.
I just really think it's about
Herb always asks about the personnel, things like that. He get into the football, which is why I love having my boy in the room right there. We gotta have him on soon.
Outside that way. I do feel, though, on the outside plays that we got to block the perimeter.
I would love to pick his brain on some things.
We got to look at the tape there and see where we have to get that perimeter blocking done better, because it looked like there were some guys that shook loose.
Man, it's just the 3rd game of the season, but to a lot of Bears fans, this is a discouraging loss. The way you lost. Do you get that? Do you understand that? Why they would think this is more of a big picture thing? For the
yeah, I would say.
Your mic's muted, Coach.
And so with that saying, I'm going to bring that down, because that's probably the extent of no shade, but shade at the same time. The good question.
I would say, man, like Coach Eberflus is really good at seeing a lot of sweet nothings.
Yeah.
And we got to be better. Well, how do you get better? As coaches, like, how did you like that play? Like, how can you run a triple option on the 1-yard line from the shot? Like, I don't understand.
That's asinine.
It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
It's too cute.
Man. It's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, that's on the coaches. We got to be better. Like, stop. Like, we're done with the Matt Nagy answers. Like,
right.
Like, people in Chicago, this is Chicago people. People want to know, okay, yes, you guys got to get better. That's evident. We all see that. But how do you get better?
Right. It's him trying to
save face.
Him trying to answer the question without throwing Shane under the bus. But I guarantee you, when I go back through the film on Tuesday or Wednesday, I think it's going to be Wednesdays moving forward. Our game days are on Wednesdays. Probably Tuesday or Thursday. It's going to be a play. It's going to be a play where we were successful off of in the run game that he could have went play action or something off of. And then what a lot of these coordinators need to do, especially nowadays, especially in the spread gun era that we live in, there is a cadence inside of the 5 that you call when it comes to getting in the end zone. Either you go run, play action, you go play action, run, play action. Like there is a table that I use inside the 5 to make sure that everything is set up. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know whether it's run or play action coming, but you're going to get it at some point. But it's going to be a myriad or mix of one. You might get run, play action, or you might get play action, run, play action. You know what I'm saying? A mixture of the three. Calling a triple option in that point, in that time, reading the room, understanding where we are in the tenure of Caleb, in the tenure of the season, like it sends the wrong message.
That should have been an RPO run to Caleb. That play should have been. It should have been an RPO option. We haven't seen a single RPO in its entire 3 weeks. That like they ran 80 plays today. Not see the single RPO. We're not seeing the things that made Geno Smith great last year or last couple of years. We're not seeing any of that from Shane. What we're seeing is a showcase of, this is what we have. This is what we have to work with. Like, I'm sorry, like people got to understand. Like, and Caleb needs to understand. I know he doesn't like to run, but he's gonna have to use his legs if he wants to keep this offense on the field. Like, there's plenty of times where you can step up in the pocket and just take off. You have the speed for it.
Yeah,
And there's a play where he just threw it away, where it's like, a veteran would have taken like a 2 or 3 yard scramble to make it 3rd and manageable versus 3rd and 9. You could have made it 36, 3rd and 5. Sometimes you just have to. Like, I know you don't want to run around too much, but it's like you have to with this offense.
And then the irony of it, right? We spent all year criticizing Justin for running too much, and now Caleb is unwilling to run, and that's not a criticism. It's just pointing out the fact that it is. But also, here's the deal: teams know you want to throw the ball, right? They know you're going to run the throw, and they also know that you're a rookie, right? So they're going to zone it up and play their zones tight and disguise stuff because they're less threatened by you running. So maybe run early to show them that you will run, and then when they start respecting your running, then you know what I'm saying, then you can start burning them for some of those. That was a play he ran out of bounds, and I'm like, man, if you just cut inside and fall for it, you're going to get 5 yards, and you put us in 3rd and 5 versus 3rd and 9. Like, there is enough space, and it's fair in this rookie campaign. It's fair to be critical of Caleb in certain aspects.
100%.
I want to go back to what you said about the running backs earlier. It was a little while ago, right? About the running back by committee, and this is what makes me nervous, right? You can't establish a play style or run rhythm to me when you're giving 3 backs rotations. You're giving 3 backs carry. You got to have a sticky back and a power back, and that be it. We're trying to please everybody in the running back room. It's just not going to happen. And you mentioned the Khalil Herbert trade. The sooner that happens, the better this run game is going to be, because Shane has a power back and he has a dynamic back in Swift, and he knows what he can get. He knows who fits what run style. I'm actually dealing with a similar challenge right now with our offense, where we have a power back who's been running like inside zone, mid zone, outside zone. He's not as good at finding holes or being patient in the zone game to make the right cut. But if you make him a one cut guy in the gap schemes, like the powers and the counters, then it fits him. So we're like, okay, let's put the counters and powers in and teach him to take a jab step and then just go downhill. We're not cutting nothing. It's get 5 yards in a cloud of dust, right? But if you're like, I don't know, somebody asked this question during the game in the Twitter chat. He was like, do you think he's struggling to understand his personnel? And I was like, that's a great analysis. That's a good assessment, because if your personnel, then some of these things we're not talking about. Roshan's coming in the game. I'm going mid zone only. And I'm going mid zone and gap game, right? Gap power. I'm going in powers and counters. With Swift in the game, everything's open. I can run all that stuff, but it's going to be heavy on inside zone, outside zone, tosses. You got your screen game. You got you on your third down, throw it out of the backfield, stuff, blah, blah, blah. But I'm definitely has an identity. And watch this. I don't care who knows it. I don't care if the defense knows. Hey, Roshan's in the game. They're probably going to go power. They're probably going to go counter. Guess what? Kyle Shanahan doesn't care that the defense knows he's finna call counter or power. That's what that's designed to do. It's designed to break your will on the defense. It's designed to let you know I'm going to come to the line of scrimmage. I'm going to point to the gap we're running through, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's the whole DNA of those plays, that scheme. And so I just wanted to get that in there because I just don't feel like it's too much confusion. There's not enough balls to go around.
I would say the big pause, but
yeah.
No pun intended for being a Bear fan, but but I will say that there's no identity, just like you said. There's no like we knew Jonathan Taylor was going to go off. We knew it. My issue on that 2nd and 6 play was the fact that Eberflus bunched everybody up in the middle like they were going to just drive in. Like the Bears, they haven't. It's just there's no with the Bears running game. There's no disguise. There's no creativity or run blocking. There's no swing tackle blocking. There's no counters. It's just dive or toss, and it's so vanilla that it reminds me of the John Fox days of the run pass play calling, run pass, and that's not what the Bears do well. The Bears do bully football well, but the thing is though, there's got to be a point where in a game where if the running game, and this may be a hot take, I don't know, but I will say when you've ran the ball a cumulative 25 times and you can only match up at least like 2 yards of carry, you gotta kind of bail out on that shit. Pardon my language, but you run the ball 3 times with 2 yards per carry. How many yards do you get?
Trash.
Exactly. You're not getting the first down. You want to average at least like 3.5.
And I think that's who. Which one of them is their average? Real fast. Roshan Johnson, 8 carries, average 3.8. Khalil, 4 carries, averaging 2.3. That's Swift is 13, averaging 1.5.
That's what I'm saying, because Swift is running between the hash marks, and that's not where you use him. He's never been that type of back. So I think what it is, and Tiki Barber actually said in the middle of the game, practice reps aren't as nearly as valuable as game reps. You had 3 weeks of film. You can just tell based on your personnel what you can do.
Right.
Like Swift is not a between the hash mark, halfback dive or power O. He's not. And the fact that they hit, and this is why with Shane, I told people this. If you think that this game was on Caleb, part of it was those.
You can put the interceptions in his lap, but it's the second. It's the second
interception. That one hit Roma Dunze in the hands. Like that. There are some. I do have a debate with people. There's some interceptions. Interception can't be 100% quarterback stat. That I ain't
gonna lie. I probably was dozing on that one.
Roma Dunze, that hit him in the palms and just bounced off because it was a contested catch. And that's the thing that Rome needs to get better on, is that you got drafted because you're one of the best contesting catching wide receivers in the NCAA.
That's a great point. That was all he was advertised, especially when we talked about his speed. All anybody with rebut with, well, he's the best contested catch guy. Because I was like, for what we need, I didn't like the pick for what I thought we need. I thought we needed another guy to stretch the defense. But everybody was like, oh, he can go up and catch the contested catch. I was like, okay, you got a good point there. I'm going to concede, but you're not doing it.
And here's the thing, in hindsight, when you got a person like DeAndre Carter, or what's his name? Did I say it right? DeAndre Carter?
I think so.
You don't typically need a Keenan Allen. Like that, that's something I always thought. Or you really need 2 solid receivers, right? Like you said, there's not enough balls to go around. But the thing is, this offense, I wonder if this offense was designed specifically for Keenan Allen to be in the game, right?
Diddy would say that too, by the way. He would say it's not enough to go around. Pause.
There's not enough leather balls to go around. Big pause. But what I will say is this: Caleb did show me something today. A seed to success. Tight ends.
How about it? I was going to say that. How about that, Lo? Let's talk about it because Komet, welcome to 2024. Nothing due to your own is not of your own season. And by the way, shout out to Shane for discovering that Cole Komet is a pretty good tight end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really what it is. Like we saw, it was like, he doesn't. Cole, when we say
Komet, 10 catches for 97 yards, average 9.7, and a TD.
Yeah, he was a surefire third down option.
Yeah.
In situations where Keenan Allen will be that third down option. My biggest thing is this, and I tell people all the time, like Caleb is a very exciting player. I get that. Like I said, there's a sect of fans that I brought out today that, hey, somebody's saying, how long do we have to give Caleb excuses? And my rebuttal says like, we gave Justin Fields 3 years of sweet nothings when we tweet about him, and we can see that from now, like it's really comes down to coaching. Coaching matters. There were a sect of Bears players that I talked to that believe that you just gotta get the quarterback right. No, coaching truly matters. If we drafted Patrick Mahomes, do you really believe that he'd be Patrick Mahomes who he is today on the Bears?
Nah.
That's what I'm saying, because it's coaching. He had Andy Reid. Justin Fields all of a sudden gets Mike Tomlin, and now boom, he threw for like 247 yards, 2 tutties, and now he's 3-0. And we realize, oh, wait, maybe it wasn't, granted, Caleb Williams had the best passing game in his third game more than Justin Fields ever had with the Bears. So there are several linings, but again, there's sweet nothings. We didn't come away with the win. He threw the ball 52 times, which is not a substantial thing to do for a rookie quarterback. Maybe
it's not sustainable, man.
It's not, because it becomes too predictable. You've seen there's only so many routes that you can run as a receiver, especially in the slot. The slot's mainly short or intermediate or seam routes, so it's easy for the safety to just pick up like right away. Which is why
Coach mentioned that. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's the reason why Mel Kiper brought up the fact that the 2 high safeties needs to be banned, is because if you ban 2 high safeties, then there's going to be way more touchdowns and more ratings. But it kind of exposes the NFL for being like, are you about the game? Or are you about the viewership?
Well, that's the other part too, right? I got so pissed when I saw that, because people that don't understand the strategic part of football didn't think that would be a big deal. But to ban 2 high safeties,
it's stupid.
I wouldn't want to coach anymore.
Yeah,
I would quit coaching.
Literally, there'd be no,
because you take the chess match away. That's like taking 2 high safeties off there. It's like taking the rooks and the knights off the chessboard. It's like taking major pieces off the chessboard. I say this all the time, especially to young coach. Listen, remember that it's a strategic game played tactically. It's a strategic game played tactically. So you take 2 high safeties off the board, then the whole conflict that you put defensive coordinators in, whether through the pass or run game, becomes less of a chess match. It actually becomes, like advantageous to the offense. And now it's about fast break football. Now politics has crept into football, and football is no longer football anymore. That would suck. Nobody wants to do that. Every safety that's came out and commented on that, they said, "Hell no, you will ruin the game," because we don't want to run press. We don't want to run press man every play, and a guy slips in the rain or in the snow, or just because a guy is fast. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole part of it, bro. That's the whole part of it. Whether you got speed on your team or not.
Carter, no.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You
right.
Safeties back there, you go palms or cloud coverage. You know what I'm saying? And what? Now I got to decide how how to force you out of that as a coach from a coaching standpoint. It's the stupidest. That's why Mel Kiper, after saying that, should be banned from TV or ever talking football ever again. How does this dude still have a job? Now I'm finna go on my rant. How does he have a job in sports still years after years after years of getting draft picks wrong, and then all the people that's been fired for ESPN, and this dude still has a job. And he comes out and says something so asinine as that. You triggered me right there. But I want to mention another question. Mark D. Hopefully he's watching on Twitter right now because he asked two great questions. One during the game, is it because Shane doesn't know his personnel, or he's a bonehead? He doesn't know his personnel, and he's a bonehead. He's being a bonehead. I wouldn't have never guessed we would get this type of coaching out of Shane, which leads back to our point that me and you made earlier about, I think Matt Eberflus has hands in the offensive pot. He's in the kitchen, and there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Then he follows it up 17 minutes ago and said, Coach, is it easy to fit a run game coordinator, O-line coach with an OC if he's not your guy? And another good question, Mark, if you're in the chat, shout out to you if you're in the chat. And I said, my reply was, it's tricky because remember, Semo was kept, Coach Dre was kept, Shane brought in with my guy Kerry Josephs, and they basically inherited Semo as their O-line, and Dre is part of their tight ends coach. Here's the thing with coaching, that the coach's room does get political. It does get egotistical. And they're philosophically, there's sometimes an unspoken butting of the heads, right? And this is what I have yet to see out of Semo. Kerry told me personally that Shane likes to run mid zone. He did that in the preseason. I saw plenty of mid zone in the preseason. But Semo's pedigree is also a lot of Kyle Shanahan stuff, which there's a lot of gap systems of pulling guards on the power plays and the counter plays. Man. And I haven't seen any of that.
Didn't do any of that the last three games. It's just been simple run schemes that run block.
It's just base. Yeah, it's base blocking. Yeah, it's
all practice stuff. And this is why real game reps matter. And it's like the fact that they're not, like I said, you said it best. The coaching room gets political, and the main key is egotistical. And like I've worked with coaches that think they know it all, and there's been times in my senior year where things weren't working. I was explaining I say, this is what I see on the field. I said, no, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. You just got to do better. And that's
you know what, I ain't gonna lie. It's funny you say that because it's a difference. It's a difference between. I think it's a difference between be a coach that, by the way, 111 was viewing. That's my number right there. It's a difference between being a coach that is a know-it-all and not know you don't know it all, and not know your weaknesses as a coach, and being a guy that actually knows his stuff and being a know-it-all. Because like I mentioned to the staff that I'm working with now, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm one of them dudes, but I'm a stand on business when it comes to schematics, right? Because here's the thing, we can always get to the board and have a conversation about it. And I'm not afraid. You put me on the board, I'm not afraid. So that's the thing. Like, what are we? And that might be the issue. It might be an issue is there's a difference of opinions in the room schematically of who we should be, because your identity comes through the run game, right? Can you still hear me, Bishop? I know you.
I can hear you. I don't know what's going on with
internet stuff.
Yeah, it's just being weird.
So your identity, to me, your identity comes through the run game. You build everything off of that. Like the passing game, when we go empty, the passing game is the pass game, right? The passing game is the pass game. It's just a buffet of route combinations and how to beat a coverage, right? There's no identity to it. Either you can draw up good passing windows or you not. Your your route concepts have to be better than what the defensive coordinator is calling it. To me, your identity comes through the running game. Are you an inside, outside, mid zone type of team? And then how do you counter off that? For example, I'll give you like for us, we're inside zone. We started out inside zone, but over the last 2 weeks, we've put in power and we put in GT counter, what we call them GY and GH counter, right? But now for me, now I'm getting in my bag because everything builds off of that. Like last night, I sent coach, I sent him RPO, fake the GY GH counter RPO. Basically said, coach, when we start killing them with these counter plays, watch this. Don't just keep calling the counter plays. You can throw the RPO off of it. Like fake the counter and hit them with, you know what I'm saying, a simple seam read because they're going to expect the counter play to come. Like I start building I start building the offense off of whatever we're successful at. And that way it's customized to what we do well. And that's what I feel like Shane hasn't Simo hasn't established a good foundation to build off of. The identity of our offense right now, if you ask me, is going to be us surviving off of Caleb throwing 40 to 50 times a game. That's the identity. It's fast break. It's spread. It's get the ball out fast. It's finesse. It's not power. So we have to be on offensively every week. Caleb has to be on. The receivers have to be on. You know what I'm saying?
What it is. That's what it is. And it's like, you know, I'm gonna get them all. I'm gonna get on my little soapbox real quick. Just talk to some of the people that tweeting out. For everybody that's waiting for Caleb's downfall, just to have the I'm right, you realize that you being right means the Bears fans lose. That's as simple as it is. Like if that's what you want, if you care about being right so badly that it means the downfall of your team, our team, for years, then go right ahead, you know, continue to be miserable, but stop banking on Caleb being bad, because my thing comes down to, it's like, like I said, we gave, Justin Fields had a rough 3 years. His second year was great. That was, when he showed that the playmaker that he was to be. But the reality is this, he's not a Bears quarterback anymore. We can continue to compare, but to compare in a way to downplay on the other quarterback, like that was my biggest thing was you can be critical, but you don't have to shit on one quarterback just as, hey, Justin Fields threw this, he did this, blah, blah, blah. And Caleb Williams can't even do that. Like, we're comparing a 3-year veteran, a 4-year veteran to a rookie quarterback. If you take Justin Fields' rookie year, rookie Justin Fields, and compare to Caleb, rookie Caleb, they're rookie quarterbacks. They made the same mistakes. Justin Fields got sacked 7 times in his debut in his college hometown, in Ohio. Caleb Williams got sacked 7 times. But also Caleb Williams was able to, the thing is, the Bears haven't been able to not put the game on Caleb Williams' back as a rookie. You don't do that for rookie quarterbacks. You don't expect them to win the game for you. You expect them to develop so that to the point where they can start winning the game for you.
Yeah.
Thing. People are expecting that, because he's not doing it now, he's a bust. No, you're just waiting for him to mess up so that you can have that I'm right. Like, that was my biggest thing, was it's not about being right. It's about being objective to the standard. We can't say that, I'm a root for him. I still expect him to make his rookie mistakes. But then all your tweets are about just, you're keeping tally marks on every time he messes up. Just because, you got roasted during the offseason for being wrong about Justin Fields. It's like, you being right about Caleb Williams, if you are or not, is not good for the Bears because he's the Bears quarterback.
But I think to be fair, also, Bishop, and I get what you're saying, and I agree. But here's the thing. Here's the reality. Here's the reality of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Prior to last year, this fan base was divided. It wasn't, we've never, since I joined Twitter, was it 2 seasons ago or 3 seasons ago? We've never been a united fan base. We're not going to be. So I think, again, it goes back to what I said earlier. I think the Caleb Bears thing, at least for me, this is the way I perceive it. It's less about for me, it's less about Justin versus Caleb. I'm gonna follow Justin because I believe the kid was outed. I believe the kid was hung out to dry, and I believe he's better than he's given shots. He was given shot for in Chicago. And here's the other part to add to me, add layers to it. Chicago, the Bears organization did Lovey wrong. The Bears organization did Walter Payton wrong. Their most beloved hero, whom which I have a mural hanging in my man cave down here of. They did Walter Payton wrong. They've done certain players wrong in the history of this franchise. And so it goes deeper than it goes deeper than just Justin for me. But besides that, it's not about Justin versus Caleb. I can look at it objectively and say, I say this like I said last week. I love the game of football more than I do the Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm not going to compromise my integrity as a coach and say something opposite or different than what I believe to be right about football schematics.
This is what it really is about. Is if you're going to compare, you got to compare the 2023 Bears to the 2024 Bears. That's what you do because situations matter. I think that, that Justin needed to get out of Chicago because we see what he's doing now, right?
Yeah.
Justin under this coaching, we will probably have the same results, similar results, and see, not seeing Justin, progress or get better because coaching matters. Like I tell people all the time,
coaching matters. You mean to tell me coaching matters? Right? I had people trying to convince me all the last season that coaching didn't matter.
Man, dude,
that it's overrated.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all you need is just to get the quarterback right. No.
Oh, but see, here's the other part about that, Bishop. The frustrating part for in Justin apologist defense. Here's the other part about that. They screamed at Justin that Justin should be able to overcome the coaching, the offensive line, the lack of talent, all those things piled up. And
that's saying, you in the workspace, right? You worked in corporate America. That's like you saying you got a bad boss, but you got to overcome everything, still hit your numbers and supersede. You can't.
You're absolutely right. I never believed it, but I think we've gotten to this toxic carousel of spinning the block, and it's just the Justin supporters. It's just their turn. It's just their turn. And watch this. I'm not going to spin the block in terms of, because I could be petty. I like to at least see. This is what people shat on me during the offseason when I said if they did a 30 for 30 about this whole situation with Justin, Caleb, Ryan Poles, Luke Getsy, Matt Eberflus, and follow all the storyline, that would get so many views amongst Bears fans because guess what? It's an interesting story. I like the storyline of it all.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit petty. I like the drama of it all too because it is drama.
Mm-hmm.
It is made for TV.
Mm-hmm.
It is a made for TV movie.
It's doing its job.
That's not. It's doing its job. And watch this. It's not a thing and meant saying, hey, Caleb, wishing Caleb would fail. For me personally, it's hey, I want the kid to go over there and do well because again, it's still going to prove that he had the capability, that it was coaching, he can do it, but still while we root for, Caleb and our beloved Bears to win. So here's the thing.
Who's that analyst that was on ESPN 1000 and wore that kit and got that customized Caleb Williams jersey when we still had Justin Fields on the roster? What's his name?
Oh, that's the guy that went to Fox.
Yep.
He was on 670 to score.
I wonder how he's doing right now.
He's doing terrible. I saw some clips of him and they were cooking. They were cooking on him. Matter of fact, he left 670 to score to go to FS1, I believe.
Yep.
Y'all know the name. I can't think of Danny Parkins. Danny was struggling. Danny was struggling to come up with takes. And watch this. The only people that I would spin the block on and I want to hear from is the people that said it wasn't coaching and the people that took personal shots. you know what I'm saying, said, oh, blah, blah, blah. And it was never, when I was trying to have give the fans a logical perspective of what would happen if we took Caleb. And they didn't want to hear that. Caleb is an air raid quarterback. He's not a full field read guy. It's going to take time to develop because he has to learn terminology, language. He has to learn how to be a real quarterback, not a air raid quarterback.
How do you think Caleb would have been if we kept Justin Fields and drafted Caleb to be behind him? What do you think that would have been?
I agree with not doing that.
Okay.
I think I agree.
That's two lions on one mountain.
You can't have too many. It can't have too many kings in the castle.
Yep.
I think if they would have brought in a veteran quarterback and gave him time, I think it would, at least for half the season, it would have been better for him. But I'm not mad at the decision.
This is awesome.
Let's take a look. Let's just come back down to reality.
Yeah.
Today, 21. Let's not overreact. Everybody expected us to win this game. Let's put that out there. We should have won the game. But again, I tweeted this earlier. The Caleb process is going to be more like watching grass grow than it is more than it is. It's not going to be. And this is what I get. This is what I started getting calls from last week about. Oh man, I called it. I just want to talk to you and let you know you was right last season because you said about the process that Caleb would be a project. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all favorite Bears media and social media personalities started hitting me up last week because I was never a Caleb hater, never out on Caleb. I said, this guy is not ready to come in and plug and play and light up the league the way y'all think it is. Watch this. It's much more of a process than you think it is. You just don't roll a new coordinator out there and a new quarterback and new players and new offensive line out there and just go out there and play ball.
Just because we went 7-10 last year. Oh,
just because, bro, this is a totally different football team. Me and the coaches talk about this in the coach's office now, man. They're always talking about this staff that I wasn't part of last year. They always talk about the team that they had last year, and I constantly got to remind them, each team has its own personality. Each team is different. This is not that team. That 7-10 Bears team for last year don't mean crap this year. This team could go 5-12, and you would sit there and wonder how we go 5-12 with more talent. Because each team, first of all, you have to get the team to come together as a team. That's a whole another part of the dynamic, right? You getting all these alpha males to try and buy in to caring about each other. You don't know what the locker room dynamic is and all that. Then you get to the schematics. Yeah. Right.
I just wish they didn't reveal that they were using the time with Caleb during the pre-draft process to plug in the offense, because it makes this look way worse than what it is. You tell me you've been installing the offense with this boy since before you drafted him,
and this is what we get.
And this is what we're getting. Well, the thing that I would do this if I was an offensive like being a former quarterback and everything. What I would do is this: quicker routes, more shallow routes for underneath. Utilizing tight ends more, and also you don't always have to start off the drive with a run play, right? You want to get at least like 4 to 5 yards, which again where the shallow routes come in, because you don't have the offensive line to protect you or give you that pocket that you need. And bring the bootlegs back in. My God, can we? That's one thing that Caleb was doing so well in college with that we're not doing is him.
He's doing good in the preseason.
Oh, yeah. Well, everything that we saw, we're not seeing now. We're seeing oh, this is everything we kept in the vault. I'm like, keep it there.
I got to get to some of these comments because they moving so fast, right? Y'all giving Poles excuses for the terrible O-line and bad coaching. We haven't even gotten the polls yet.
No,
you know what I'm saying? We haven't even gotten. I think you know what I'm saying. We could get there, but we haven't even talked about. We're talking about today's game, the quarterback, the scheme. So we haven't even made it beyond Caleb and Shane. All the conversation have to do with Shane, because that's the biggest. Those are the two biggest factors in this whole thing. Bishop, you were just saying what you would do. what I would do is I would go in that room. I would get Shane. If I was Eberflus, I would get with Shane. This is why I believe what we said earlier might very well be true. It's Eberflus micromanaging, dictating to him the play style, because I would get Shane. If I was Eberflus, I'd get Shane and Simo in the office together and say, hey, what's the personality of this offensive football team? Who do we want to be?
This is what I think, based on what you're saying, if Eberflus does have his hand in this jar of offense, I think he's calling plays that will work against him if he was a defensive coordinator on the opposite team. And those are the plays that he's fallen in love with. It's like, this will work against me, but it's like, bro, like you're like, come on
but now. Again, that's what I'm saying. He has to let go of this. Again, if that's true, no, it is true, because he said that when he first came aboard. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers was impossible to stop. I like that style of offensive football. Guess what? It goes back to what I always say about Chicago. It's always 3rd and 13 in Chicago. Listen, the iPhone 16 is out. We're not on the 13 no more, right? So back then, when Aaron Rodgers' Green Bay offense was the thing to stop, then that was the thing back then. But today is today. You got to go back to what's working in football today. So I'm sitting those guys back in, sitting them down and saying, okay, what do we want the identity of this football team to be? What do we want the personality of this offensive football team to be? I want it to be tough, physical first. I would watch this. We're Eberflus and lots of Bears fans, many of them who wanted Caleb Williams. You know what I'm saying? Many of them that desired Caleb Williams have fallen in love with stat football, gaudy stats and numbers and a style of play. That's why I said they want the kid to be more Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers than they want to win. They want stats. They want cute quarterback play. They want numbers. They want Patrick Mahomes. They want somebody that they can say and be proud of that is their quarterback that's getting them a bunch of stats, not playing winning football. Because guess what? Guess what's going to happen? Guess whether we like it or not, whether you like the kid or not, guess what's going to happen? Number 2 in Pittsburgh, and the guy that hasn't missed the playoffs during his entire tenure as a head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be in the playoffs. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. He hasn't missed the playoffs in his entire tenure as a NFL coach. Watch this. Did Pittsburgh, after Ben Roethlisberger left, did Pittsburgh change their style and their identity of their football team?
Nope.
They said, we're going to run the ball and play good defense.
Yes, sir.
What is wrong with that in Chicago?
Well, and it's funny. We're not the only ones talking about it. Even ESPN, I just got a notification on my phone. One of the takeaways is play calling being under fire, because people want to say, I had a healthy back and forth with with a respected follower I have. I'll give him a little shout out too. His name's Kino. You responded to, he was retweeting my tweet saying,
oh, Kino has a page. I know the name.
Yeah, Kino, cool guy. Yeah. No disrespect to him. But like we were talking, I made a tweet today saying, what was it? It was on the far as of like, look, we gave Justin Fields 3 years and we can't even give Caleb Williams 3 games. It's like you guys' bias is really, really showing. And or he came out and compared, so you guys, saying that, hey, y'all gave Getsy 2 years, but while he was responding to my whole thing about saying that Waldron is just terrible right now.
Yeah, that sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it?
So he's says, well, y'all gave Getsy 2 years, and you can't even get Shea 3 games. I say, the difference is like people want to Shea like Getsy gone after the first season, after the first 5 games, they want to Getsy gone because of how he misused Justin. And I said, it's a big difference between a quarterback, and comparing a player to a coach to me is wild work. But I get where he was coming from, and what it comes down to is the fact that Shane Waldron, this isn't the Shane that we thought we were getting.
That's the whole point. And I'm glad you said that, Bishop. Shane was a top 5 offensive coordinator last year. Shane was a top 5 offensive coordinator last year. of the available coordinators, we got the best coordinator.
We did. He was a good hire.
He was a good hire. This is why I'm saying y'all got to listen to us. Nobody's making excuses for Matt Eberflus or Ryan Poles. Shane was a top 5 coordinator. Early on in the season, Shane was being mentioned for a head coaching job last year. Things blew up in Seattle, and he became another coordinator hire. He really, if they would have had finished the season with success, Shane would not have been available. He was a top 5, statistically, top 5 coordinator. But what was he doing? This is why I love Herb Howard's question. He was running a lot of 12 and 13 personnel. He was running what's his name? Sean McVay stuff. He was running the split zone with the play action off the split zone. He was taking vertical shots off the play action off the split zone. He's doing, listen to me carefully, he's doing none of that right now.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. Trust me when I say it's totally bizarre. He's doing none of it. If you go back and watch the preseason games, our preseason games, the offense is totally opposite of what it was in the preseason. It's totally opposite.
You and I both agree. We have to agree on one thing. September football compared to November, December football is totally different football.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's like your identity is your identity.
100%. But we're getting the option.
You build on it.
Yeah,
you build on it. You evolve it. You don't go away from it. It's like it's there. It's there. This is the foundation of my offense. I don't go away from my foundation. It's there. It's still there. It's still cyclical that I go back to my split zone play action off my split zone.
I just don't think that we're running. Oh my gosh. Sorry, the camera.
I can still hear you. Yeah.
But I just don't know. I don't think we're in Shane Waldron's offense right now. I think we're just running plays as a showcase, right?
It's totally that. It's what we call in the offensive coordinating world. He's calling plays. He's not offensive coordinating.
Yeah, he's not instructing. He's not
setting anything up. He's calling plays.
Exactly.
And that's the problem.
I do want to point out I was wrong. I was wrong on one thing. I did say Caleb won't have his first 300-yard game until week 6. He did in half that time. So one thing we have to take away from this is Caleb Williams is objectively getting better and better each game. He didn't turn the ball over the first game. He turned the ball over twice the second game. He turned the ball over twice this game, but he also matched those with a lot of yards and 2 touchdowns to even it out. So there are
did the grass grow?
Exactly. The grass is growing. The paint is drying. Like it's like, the plane is landing. So when it comes down to it, it's the process we've been talking about this whole offseason. People expected the Bears to come out like just like myself. I said the Bears going to lose 2 games in the first 10 game series, right? It looks like they're going to lose about 4 or 5 games in the first 10 games and probably come out 500 by the time the bye week comes.
Right.
And that's the thing is it's all based off of, and this information is all based off of what we know about Caleb Williams and what we knew about Shane Waldron. I think that Shane Waldron won't be in his bag until October. Once October,
you know what? You're better than me, Bishop. Because I'm gonna tell you why you're better than me. I appreciate the take, but I'm gonna tell you why you're better than me. I say it won't happen ever.
And that's a good possibility.
I'm gonna tell you why I say that. I say that because I did this, and I'm not doing it again. I said this a few weeks ago. I did this with Luke Getsy. I'm like, bro, this stuff is so obvious that the fix is so obvious. All you got to do is do X, Y, Z. And it never came, and it never came, and it never came. So I'm putting my pen in the map and saying, Eberflus has his hand on the offense. They're micromanaging his play calling style, and we're not going to see it. He is mucking this thing up and tying this guy. Because it's hard for me. I know who I am as a play calling offensive coordinator. I'm not going against my core principles. I'll let you know I'm starting out in this. So first thing I'm gonna install is my gap scheme. My gap scheme. First play I'm installing is power. Second play I'm installing is counter. And every formation, we're going to be able to run power and counter out of it.
Let me explain why I think that's going to be the case. Because here's the thing: I do see Eberflus on his play call sheet at the same time before Shane makes his call. So I know that Eberflus has his hand on the offense. My thing is this: there was a time when Matt Nagy was doing the same thing. Matt Nagy had to relinquish his play calling, and the Bears got better. So there's going to be a point where the Bears, McCaskies, George, Kevin Warren are going to say, "Look, you're going to have to let go of the offense because we don't know what."
Leave him alone. They're going to go in there and tell him, leave him alone.
Leave
Shane alone.
Let Shane be Shane, because he said he found his success with Geno Smith because he knew Geno as a person.
Right.
Versus being a quarterback. So you had all this time to know Caleb Williams. You knew you were drafting Caleb Williams when you took the job. You interviewed him plenty of times. You met his family, did all this stuff. You know who Caleb Williams is. So why are we having this regression of your play calling and outcome? Yes, we have a bad O-line. Yes, that's our run game is terrible. Yes, but you're in charge of the offense. My belief was we was going to have a Lovie Smith type of coordination here. Well, Lovie just handled everything defense.
Right.
And then so typically we had two coaches. We had the head coach who's defensive, and we had the offensive coordinator who handled everything offense. That's how it needs to be. And they need to sit down this wide receiver, this route coordinator, and Shane Waldron and Demo, and say straight up, this is what we need to do. As head coach, hey, this hasn't worked. I want to see something different. So I'm going to bow out for a little bit and just focus on defensive stuff. Shane, get your offensive line and route tree together, and let's go out there and start.
Let's go out there and ball.
Yeah.
I think he was giving instruction to say, listen, we got this arm. I want to see it. We're going to be dynamic. We're going to spread people out and spread the ball around.
Well, this is what Eberflus is doing. He's looking at the defense as they're lining up, and then he's instructing Shane, hey, we should do this. Or he gives him a concept.
If that's what's going on, fire him yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Shane's job is
I would never taken a job as an offensive coordinator. I would never taken a job under those parameters, under those guardrails. Listen, I got to be able to be myself in my system. This is my system. This is how I build it throughout the season. I progressively add concepts as we go, as I learn the personality of the team, the personnel, blah, 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 and understand what we can do, what we can get away, what we can't get away. Like we installed power last week. We installed counter this week. We had to see if our guards can pull with speed and get there, right? That's the first thing you do. You run it in practice, you run it. Can we get away with this? All right, boom. Soon as we figured out the main guard, and it didn't have to be both of them in our level of football, high school. It don't have to be better. It can be one of them. Hey, can one of them do it? All right, boom. You can run power. All right, can I get two of them? Can I get a guard and a tackle that can pull? Oh, okay, now we can run counter. If we can't do it, we can't do it. Right now, that becomes on the GM. The GM, if I want to do that, we want that to be part of the personality or the core of our concepts. Then the GM needs to go find me a guard and a tackle that can do it. If we can't do it, hey, I left this up because this comment because I want to cycle the comment because I disagree with it. I believe Roschon is a power running back. He is a power running back. Swift is a dynamic running back. He's a dynamic running back that he doesn't need to have a perfect hole to be able to find a hole and get up in there. They're two polar opposites running back. So this is how I can't put it any plainer than this. I would use Swift to run the inside mid-zone game, inside the zone game, not the inside between the tackles game, but the zone game with Swift, right? He can run counters. He did that in Philly last year. That's what they did in Philly last year. Mm-hmm. They ran zone and they countered the zone with counter plays. They pulled guards. So he can do that. Roschon is a one-cut dude. He's a power gap running back. He's going to run powers and counters straight downhill, dives, leads, and stuff like that. Just get him going downhill, and he should create enough momentum to create a hole and fall for it for like
Kitty.
Running back room was better last year. No, it's the same dudes.
It's the same people. It's
Mine
just,
is Ash Swift.
just Swift.
Bears always put too much on the rookie. I'm trying to get through some of these comments. Got to get Rage and Oracle in here. William, I respect it. Agree, disagree. That's still up for debate.
I want to go back to this medium comment. This is called a elite.
Go ahead. Tackle it while I cycle through this.
This is exactly what they wear on the field. I'm sorry that you haven't seen or you don't or have the funds to afford this kind of jersey. But yeah, this is stuff that they wear on the field, brother.
I agree with this comment, Oracle. You can't fix. This is the thing too. I'm going through this same thing with my team. It's the same thing like with Caleb. Listen, when you're not good at something, you watch the film and you almost have to find. There might be 5 things you see going bad on the film. I heard Tevin Jenkins call out 4 different things that they were struggling with the offensive line. But guess what you got to do in a week's short time? Man, you got to hone on the important thing and say we're going to work on that. Like this week, I beat my guys up about hand placement. We got to play with our hands. I'm still seeing guys, coming off the ball. I got to go back to summer phase. Y'all not coming off the ball. You're standing up, right? And then you're not playing with your hands. So now I got to go back in Indies and I got to drill using your hands. We're pushing the sled down the field on our knees, just y'all jabbing the sled using your hands, getting used to playing with your hands, asking questions. Why are we scared to play with our hands? What is your fear? Why are we playing with flippers? Do I teach that? No. So if you don't get playing time because I watch on film and you're using the flipper instead of playing with your hands, thumbs up, elbows tucked in, you using it, you locking onto the breastplate and running and flipping your hips. If you're not doing that and you find yourself on the bench, that's because I spent hours watching film. I spent hours in indie time and you're not applying the concept of what I'm teaching. So go back to what you're absolutely right. I agree with that. From a practical standpoint, it's just this is the reality of real football. You can't do everything. We need to work on pass pro this week. Oh, guess what? I only got 2 more days before we play again. I can't work on everything. You know what I'm saying? Because now we got to start installing scheme, game plan, all this other stuff. I can't fix everything. So that's the reality of it.
I agree with Oracle on this one. It's like, take like 6 games to fix the online and scheme.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
It is, but it's also going to take time for them to say, all right, this is what we can get away with. Like, for example, we cannot deny there are times today. Who was that? Somebody averaged Rojo averaged almost 4 yards per carry. You can build on that. So you go back and watch those type of runs and what we were calling in that and know that your offensive line right now, they can get away with that. And if you have to start Rojo because you can get 4 yards a carry, then start him, but build off of that. What are those concepts that he's running? Is he running mid zone on those concepts? Okay, run the mid zone, damn it, and then go play action off the mid zone. Mm-hmm. Build your offense around that. Like everything, here's the rule of offensive coordinator. Everything looks the same, but has 1,000 different outcomes. So if I run one mid zone play out of 13 personnel or 12 personnel with 2 tight ends to one side, it's my job as an offensive coordinator to say, okay, I know I can be successful at this mid-zone play, but let me try to come up with 10 plays out of this one look because they're going to expect the mid-zone play, but I need to come out of 10 plays out of this one look instead of me going empty one play, me going ace the next play, you know what I'm saying? Like, build on it. Build a philosophy and go with that. That's the fun. That's the fun of football. You know what I'm saying? To me. Let me see who else. Let me get some new people in here. Bears Media Co. My guy been in here for a while. Commit hasn't been targeted till today and had 90 yards. They found him. They discovered him. By the way, it might have been a little bit of buddy ball going on because Everett came over with Shane from Seattle, and he didn't know Shane. He didn't know Commit was like that.
I thought Everett was from San Diego.
They similar systems. But but Everett said he knows Shane well. He knew Shane. He knew of Shane. They've been together at some stop. Yeah. He said that when he first came in. He said if you subtract Caleb's rushing yards from Bears have rushed for if you subtract Caleb's rushing yards, the Bears have rushed for 150 yards in 3 games, which is 70 below the league average.
Yep. He's absolutely right.
Yeah, man.
It's like what he's speaking on is the fact that we want to run the ball, but we can't. Like you can't force something that can't happen. I'm sorry. Like it's people think that it's simply just keep running the ball and you keep wearing them down. Bro, like if I'm a defensive player and you can't get like 1 or 2 yards against me, I want you to run the ball.
I think I want to modify it a little bit. I don't think it's that we can't run the ball. I don't think we can run the ball the way they want to run the ball. They want to run the ball out of gun and go inside zone. We're not an inside zone team. We're a mid zone team from under center. This is something I want y'all to keep an eye on when it happens. When Corey Blasingame comes back, I want y'all to keep an eye on the run game then. I want to see what it looks like then, because that's also a big part of
I don't really
Shane's offense too.
I don't like blocking too much. Week 1, he whiffed too many blocks and got. It was I don't like Blasingame too much, but I do want to see.
Man, I got a saying, bro. Good things happen when Corey Blasingame is in the game.
His run blocking is good, but it's like Shane will have him in too much on passing plays, and he whiffs blocks way too often. It's just annoying. But
Berlismo has a good question. He says, "Do you style your entire offense every week, or do you have 40 run, 40 pass plays, which are your base, and you can fetter?" I don't know what the word fetter means.
Fetter or
when you're facing teams who will adapt. Just a question. So here's the thing. This is just a personal thing for me. I don't install my entire offense every week. You build the foundation and it's progressive overload. I add based off of your ability to master. It's like martial arts to me. This is the way I picture it. It's like martial arts to me. I add based off of your ability to master the core fundamentals of the scheme, right? So say if I decide to start out with inside zone, right? Case in point, you understand your personnel. You say, hey, I got 3 dogs on the interior offensive line, and I got bigger guys on the interior offensive line, lighter guys on the exterior offensive line, right? Then I'm say, okay, I'm gonna start out and going inside zone, or say I got athletic guards, whatever the strength of the front 5 is. I'll start with a concept for that. If I got athletic guards and guys that can hold up on the front end, I'll start with the gap schemes, right? If I have guys big interior guys that's just big and not athletic, then I'll start with the inside zone. I'll start there. You mastered inside zone run concepts. And when you do that, then I'll figure a way to build on that. So I might go inside, mid zone, and then we'll establish the counter off of that, because you can't kill people in inside zone the whole game and not expect them to adjust. So we're going to go counter off of that, right? If I can get away with power, I'll get away with power, right? But then I build off of that. The toss, I'm going to tell you what's going to be in. It's going to be inside, mid, outside zone, counter, power, toss, bash. You know what I'm saying? And then when we start getting cute and we really want to add to it based on, and then throughout the season, it becomes an opponent thing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we might need this week. We might need wham this week or something like that. Once you build that foundation of like those core 3 or 4 concepts, then we build off of that. And watch this, your play action game builds off of that, right? So if I'm a successful inside zone team and a counter team, I might go inside zone. I have inside zone. I have zone read. I'll have the RPO in. Again, one concept, 1,000 different outcomes. So you don't know what you're going to get. You might get the inside zone give. You might get the zone read. You might get a number of RPO concepts off of that, off of that inside zone. You might get the screen game off of it. You don't know what you're going to get hit with. Same thing with the counters. If I'm successful at running the counters, I can run counters. Matter of fact, our school has built in their total RPO. Quarterback has total control of the entire offense. He can give on the inside zone. He can give, or he can throw it on the counter. Like he basically calls the plays himself.
I personally, in the answer Barely Smoke's question too, typically you would want to script the first
Hey,
25.
what up, Jeff? What's up, man?
You want to script the first 25 plays and then go based off of concepts on there on the flow of the game. The first 25 plays, which is typically like three drives, you want to make sure that the quarterback understands so he can run it however he wants to. He knows the plays that is going to be called in the situations.
Well, I don't think he's talking about. I don't think he's talking about in-game offense. I think he's talking about like you can clarify for us like throughout the season.
Okay, yeah. So you don't reinstall an offense. That's how you regress. You typically just build off of what you are. The Bears have always been like a second half team or a one half team. That's not what we saw today. We just saw one consistent game of mediocre offensive play. So, like I said, I just think you can't be in gun 90% of the time. I think
that's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, and that's mentality. I'm sorry, man, cut you off. That's mentality. I agree. It's mentality. Like there's an expectation when you go under center that, hey, we better buckle our chin strap. Like, get ready to rock. You know what I'm saying? Football is football. This new BS that everybody's doing, want to go gun and spread everything out. It drives me crazy, man.
What's a copycat league?
Yeah.
It works with, people see people like Mike.
But that's when you have people like Mel Kiper talking about we need to take too high safety out. Why are y'all trying to change the game, man? Knock it off. Football is a moving a man against his will at the end of the day.
Well, now the Bears have somebody else to worry about. They got to worry about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's running that offense, and you see the difference.
Oh yeah, they kicking tail. I was gonna make mention of that at some point. Yeah, it's
not even just like Packers and Lions, like the Vikings.
I never underestimated them up there though because of coaching.
Yeah,
that dude is up. That dude is a coach. Listen. We prior coming into the season. I said this. We have 3 of the best offensive coordinators in our division in the league. And I thought we would be able to be competitive schematically because, you know what I'm saying, we were getting one of the top 4 coordinators. We got to figure it out, man.
Let's just get out of September at 500. That's all I want to do. Just end the first quarter of the season at 500.
But back to Caleb. I'm not down on Caleb. I still think 52 attempts is too much. I'm proud of the growth. I see the grass growing. 33 for 52, 363, 7 per yard. Take those interceptions off the board, and everybody's like looking at the silver lining. The loss, I really believe this in my heart of hearts, especially for the Caleb, like diehard Caleb apologists. If you take those interceptions off the board, they would care less about the loss because I really believe a huge portion of our fan base does not care about winning. And that may sound strange, but watch this. It's like the mentality of there's kids out there that would rather be famous on social media than actually be wealthy in real life. They care more. I've run into kids like that because I'm so involved with youth. They would rather they'd be like, but I got 5,000 followers on Instagram though. They look at Instagram like it's real life currency. It's like it's the world we live in. and so our fans are like that nowadays. These new fans, these younger fans, that especially the ones that didn't play sports, they care more about fantasy numbers from the quarterback than actually to have a quarterback to throw for 500 yards a game and go 5-12 every year. They would be okay with that. They'd be like, all right, yeah, but they would rather get in a debate about my quarterback's better than your quarterback than who won the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm seeing a lot of stuff on my timeline talking about the passing chart and people saying, yo, we got a franchise quarterback. I'm like, still a rookie. He's going to be here for some years, but you look at that. I see a L. I see the stats, but I see a loss at the end of the day. I see
at the end of I would rather be Mike Tomlin than Matt Eberflus right now.
And let's be real. Let's be real. Even if that, so with that, with that fumble that happened, the strip sack, I mean, I was premature when I tweeted, this game, ladies and gentlemen. Reason why I did that is simply because not saying that the Bears didn't have a chance of winning that today. Not saying they don't ever have a chance of winning that, but they didn't have the play calling to get down the field quickly. They just didn't. So expect the Bears to get the ball. Damn it.
I want to talk about this just briefly too, and we'll get into it on Tuesday or Thursday as we go through all 22. Another thing that Shane is not doing a good job of, and it's looking too Getsy-ish, if you will, to me, and Nagy-ish to me, is the windows are not pretty.
There's
if you look at Bobby Slowick's windows versus
look at Matt LaFleur's windows, okay, and look at the Bears windows. Like, come on, it's a night and day difference.
Oh yeah, oh hell yeah, that's a. I mean, in the division, the best windows I've seen in the league are Slowick, Matt LaFleur, and Kyle Shanahan.
Yep.
And what we mean by the windows is it goes back to the first interception to me, I believe. I can't wait to see that because in real time, I'm like, man, that's probably
too long on that one.
Huh?
He waited too long on that pass. That's what it was.
He waited, but I'm curious to see, Bishop, is what read was that in the progression, because I'm thinking off of instant recall, that's right to left, and it's third or fourth.
It was his third. So I saw him look Carter's way, I saw him look Komet's way, and I saw him look to finally DJ.
Yeah, and so it's like
but we can review it though.
So my question, Bishop, is okay, what route was that?
Oh, that was a slant in, that was an outside slant in, pretty much. So what it is, it's
slant in.
Yeah. So what it was,
so it was coming to the window.
It's like yeah. So what it is, it's almost like you know how you run a basic a sluggo route.
Yeah.
So it's like a sluggo, but you just like kind of like it's halfway where it's like he runs out and then he comes back in and sits on the sideline. So it's
he was like a wheel.
Yeah. So it's an effective.
It was a wheel.
Essentially, yeah.
All right.
But it's like, but
I'm still saying, like, if he's running a wheel to the sideline, that's still away from his eyes, though.
It's got to be a second read. It can't be a third read, because the thing is, though, once you sit, like, it's the same reason why Jalen Johnson got beat on that deep to Pittman, right? He expected, when it's third down, you play to the sticks. That's what the coaches tell you. The reason why he let him get past him is because he expected him to break down instead of just keep going. So, that like once what's his name, Jones, or on the opposite team, I forgot, it was Jalen Jones or something. Once he saw him sit, and again, when you're reading, like, that's about like 3-4 seconds, it's like, okay, he's here, boom. They were running zone on that play, and he just broke on that route.
Yeah, I think whatever it was, the route was going away from his eyes. So he was having to chase the route with, and that'll cause a quarterback to be slow. That's just my recall of it. I could be wrong. That's why I can't wait to look at it, because I'm like, if the route's going away from his eyes, then a fan will sit back and be like, well, Caleb was slow, or he held the ball too long. I'm like, that half a fraction of a second to not have to chase that route, where if I'm going right to left with my read, right, and if that route is coming into my peripheral as I'm moving my eyes, then that muscle, you know what I'm saying? That muscle triggers and I let it go, versus I got to chase that route all the way back to the opposite sideline. We did that too much last year.
And Caleb needs to do a better job of settling his feet and not rushing his throws. There was a couple screens. Sometimes you gotta let them develop. Yeah, sometimes you just got to let the screen passes develop. Yeah, you're going to get hit, but you have to kind of see where that was going, because there's one to Carter where the blockers were there. Everything was set up. He just rushed the throw way too soon and got it in front of him. So, like I said,
it's tough. I agree with you, but it's tough to be like, settle your hips and settle your feet, have great fundamentals
behind this,
and then in the next stanza, go and be like, wow, that was a great cross body throw he made to Cole Kmet on the sail route going to, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of those guys you teach him the concept and be like, live and die with whatever he creates from
I want my thing for Caleb is I want him to do something spectacular at least like 2 to 3 times a game, not 15 times. And that's the mistake they expected with Justin Fields. They expected him to be amazing all 4 quarters instead of just like when you look at Patrick Mahomes games, he has a wild play like maybe 3 or 4 times a game.
Yeah.
And that's the simulators I've seen between Luke Getsy and Shane Waldron, is that you're expecting Caleb to be amazing almost every other play.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Raging Oracle right here too. But when we say the trenches, a lot of times we don't. There's a number of ways to win in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? We strictly put the trenches on the offensive line. While I agree we have to have a dynamic offense, we should have a good to great offensive line to win consistently. Watch this. My job as an offensive coordinator when we don't have a good offensive line is to overcome that with my scheme. You know what I'm saying? Just like if I didn't have a speedster to stretch the defense, I have to become creative. I have to become creative on how to stretch the defense if I don't have a speed guy that I could run, you know what I'm saying, down the middle third of the field to force the safety to back off so I can work underneath them. You have to decide, okay, which one of these dudes up front is a dude, right? And which ones I can play with. It's just like in pass pro, right? If you know you can't go 5-man protection the whole game, you got to know which guy you got to help. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure that out early so you'll know, hey, you know what I'm saying? Braxton's always going to have a chipper. He can't, you know what I'm saying? He struggles with speed rushers, and this is hypothetical. This is made up, but he struggles with speed rushers, so he's always going to have a helper on the outside. You got to KYP, and I think it's something he's struggling with. Yeah, he got to know his personnel. You got and get that to that, and that becomes a staple until, of course, the opponent discovers, all right, yeah, they trying to hide this guy, and you know what I'm saying, they trying to hide this guy, and we need to bring the blitz from the other side because they're chipping to the left tackle. But I still think overall good game statistically by Caleb Williams. I think he's getting better. Take the interceptions off the board. I think that flips us 7 to 10 points, and we're talking about a different
switch Tevin Jenkins to right guard so that you can have like a strong right side, and try to see what goes on and like just fool around with it a little bit.
I don't like, I'm gonna stay persistent about this. I'm fully of the impression that the Bears they just simply want a dynamic offense for showmanship standpoint, not from a real practical winning standpoint, but because they believe this is how you play football in 2024, and it's less about winning, it's more about being dynamic. And therefore, I don't agree with our play style, especially when we have or could have a dominant defense. But watch this, they're going to continue to push that and be that, and we might become that at some point towards the end of the season or sometime next season after we bring in a gang of offensive linemen. But
who are you drafting first? Are you drafting a left tackle or are you drafting a guard or center?
Best player up there. Best player up front. Okay. Yep. Okay. If it's a tackle, I'm going for him. If it's a guard or center, I'm going for him. It's just gonna build it out. Matter of fact, the next year I would be like, I would do what Mike Tomlin did this year. He got Frazier. He got another offensive lineman. He got offensive lineman last year. This is what I'm talking about, man. The franchises that get it. You know what I'm saying?
And this will complete the way Poles has built the offense from the outside in, which we don't agree with. You build from the inside out, but it'll complete that full process.
I mean, it is what it is. And so somebody may mention of Ryan Poles, and they say we ignore it. We're not ignoring it. Bishop just said it. I don't agree how we built this offense. You know what I'm saying? I did was like with the Odunze pick. I would, first of all, the whole take behind the Justin situation was, man, them picks would be really nice. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be a next hot thing coming out at quarterback. It just is. But we were sold on generational arm talent, yes. But generational ready to go right now. By the way, how did Jaden do today? I'm just curious.
Let me see.
What was Jaden's stat line today?
Who do the Commanders play today?
Or they play tonight?
I don't think they played yet. I think they play. I think they're prime time.
Oh, they got Monday. They got a Monday night game tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
I'm be tuned into that because again, generational arm talent, yes. Generational ready to play, plug and play right now, nah. And then here's the other thing to take away too: 33 for 52, 363. Indianapolis is not. They're not Minnesota
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to blitz packages. They're
So,
not
what you mean
Texans.
by that?
They're not. They don't have the blitz. They don't have the exotic blitz packages of a Tampa, a Minnesota, a Green Bay. Today it was a step in terms of people that really know how to get after the quarterback.
That's why this loss is so disappointing because we didn't see a blitz, a constant blitz. No, Carter.
Yeah, we didn't see them dialing it up like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry, my son keeps trying to come in here, but yeah, no, it's the fact that we were thinking that dang, if Kelly doesn't get blitzed, we know it's easier for the offense. We found out that is not true. It is about play calling, it is about scheme, and it's about game planning. If you don't have a game plan, it don't matter who you got on that field, it ain't gonna work.
Man, I didn't expect us to drop this one. LA next week, man. LA at home next week.
They hurt. So we'll see how the defense handles that. That's gonna be a good defensive game because they're playing without Puka Nacua and what's his name? Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they handle that Sean McVay's offense without them. Again, it's not an easy win because it's still Sean McVay.
Yeah. We have to face an Andy Dalton Panthers team now.
Yep. Jaguars are, again, that's just like the Colts. It's a 50-50 game. So before the bye, like I said, I just want them you get the easy layups.
There are no layups. That's what I'm looking at now because Washington playing great on defense.
Panthers are a layup. LA, that's a mid-range shot. The Jaguars, that's a free throw shot. But get the easy layups, win the games that you're supposed to win. Go into the bye. The bye week is the week that I'm going to be able to just relax because
you're not playing.
They're not playing. They're not playing, so that's good on my mental. But two, it allows them more time to be in the lab. And hey, this is the bye week is really more so for the coaches, more so than the players. The players that are injured, the ones that are injured, we can expect them to be back after bye week 8.
We'll see how they come out at bye week if they make any adjustments to the coaching philosophy and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I'll say this, man. Regardless of record, overall, from a coaching standpoint, I'm disappointed, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm disappointed. Shane was supposed to come in, regardless of whose fault it is, Shane was supposed to come in and cover up and put us, he was supposed to have this rookie looking pedestrian, but winning while we do it. So I'm a little bit disappointed. Because we could win these games, but we're making it harder than it should be. We're gonna see that narrative play out in the national. Say that again.
We left 10 points on the field. We missed the first field goal, and then when that whole 4th and 1 debacle on the 1 yard line, I hate playing hindsight, but we left 10 points on that field. So Bears fans, don't feel bad. We can get there. Again, our goal is for the defense is already midseason form. Defense is good. Just wait for the offense and just needs to catch up. And again, this is why I'm so happy that we don't have a first divisional game until week 11 because we have time to get this stuff together. And then we go on our divisional rampage. So the thing is, the win-loss record within the division is going to determine a lot for us. So, like I said, that's really the things I'm looking forward to. We got plenty of time. It's a long season. It's 18 weeks. This is just the first 3 games. September football is a lot different than November, December football. In Soldier Field in December,
it's different.
That's different.
I don't want to be. I ain't trying to be a jerk on right here. Oracle was talking about. He was saying that, what I'm saying. You really don't. I'm gonna put the comment up. Rookie O-line typically don't help you in the first 9 games. You got to fix the problem in free agency if you want immediate impact. While I agree with you, I disagree with you. The Pittsburgh Steelers drafted Troy Fautano with their number 20 pick. Zach Frazier with their 51st pick, Mason McCormick with their 119th pick. If I'm not mistaken, at least 2 of those dudes are in the starting lineup, if not all 3. And they're dominating in the run game. It's coaching and scheme philosophy. Are you drafting people? Do you have a philosophy? Do you have a system? And are you drafting to fit that system? I specifically remember watching like videos of Pittsburgh in training camp, and you know what I'm saying, just because it comes across our time feed because we're all intermixed with Pittsburgh and Chicago, and their training camp philosophy was totally different than ours. Pittsburgh was all about physicality at training camp, building a tough football team. You see them hitting like they were in high school. They're doing Oklahoma drills. They're doing bull in the ring. They're trying to make sure that football team is physical and hardened for football, a certain style of play. And then what are we doing? We up here, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? We not, you know what I'm saying? It's mentality, man. This is Chicago. I wish we had the type of coach that would come in here and make sure we were a hitting team, physical team. But for whatever reason, we want to get away from whatever. We don't want to be tough. We don't want to be the monsters of the Midway no more. We want to be the mistresses of the Midway. You know what I'm saying? We want to finesse teams. And that's not who we are. So I ain't gonna hold you up, Bishop. I know you got little man to get to. I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. What up, Karen? Yeah, man. Hopefully we come out against the Rams and do some things special, and we can bring this thing to a 500, man. But again, shout out to Caleb Williams for his first 300-yard passing games
and first
2 TDs. I mean, you gotta see the ball go through the hoop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, you know, you got to see the ball go through the hoops before it becomes normal. And you're like, all right, no big deal. We got that monkey off our back. So let's turn.
If you're Caleb, do you keep the touchdown that you throw to Cole Kmet? Do you keep that ball? Since you couldn't keep the first one?
If I'm Cole, I give it to him, man. Because you know he's not getting the first one. He's not getting a doomsday ball. Pause. You know what I'm saying? He not getting that one. So yeah, man. Yeah. But see, here's the thing. Here's the other part about this too. From a pure and I'll get you out of here. Give you the last say. Mm-hmm. From a pure entertainment standpoint, I don't hate watching this football team. Does it get frustrating sometimes? Yes, but I don't hate watching this football team. And that part, you know, I think we can live with for another 3 or 4 games. But please, Shane, please get it together. And I know the national media, they finna cook him. They finna cook your boy, especially for that damn option call.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I already know what they're gonna say on the triple option. What they're gonna say on Colin Cowherd. What they're gonna say on Get Up. It's not looking good for Shane because especially he's already popping up on my phone as a ESPN talking point. So yeah. All I say is again what Ron just said. Caleb is objectively getting better.
I mean, he went 93 yards, the first 92 yards the first game.
93 yards the first game, like 200 and like what was it? 100? No, it was 170 some odd yards the second game, and now he just blow up for 356. Yeah, he threw it for 52 times, but like still, like come on, that's the reality. The reality of that is like he doesn't have the fact that he showed lack of arm fatigue was very impressive to me because if I threw 52 times, I'd have a noodle for it. Like my arms would be like just numb.
Yeah, not just the 52 attempts, but again, he had 52 attempts, 7-yard average, and almost 64% completion rate.
We keep forgetting too. It'd be a different game if this is really why it's a game of inches. If that Hail Mary pass, if that would end up being a touchdown, man, this is a different feeling game.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So I'll even say, so I'll add to it. We left 17 points on the field. We had an opportunity on 4th and 1 in the goal. We missed the field goal, and then the Hail Mary was just a yard short. But hey, it is what it is. Not hindsight. Bears are getting better every week in and week out. It looks stagnant. I promise you, when we go over all 22, when we go over the film, you'll see. And then you look at like people like shout out to quarterbacks QB school and all these people that are breaking down Caleb Williams film. Trust me, he is getting better every single week. That's all we want in a rookie quarterback. The wins will come. We just got to be patient.
Yeah. No, I think we got a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Again, he has to earn generational stuff. But I think we got a good quarterback. We built this team how we built it. So let's go. Let's see, man. It's gonna be interesting.
Let's go.
See, man. All right, Bishop, man. I appreciate you hanging out with me, man. I'm gonna go up there and get some leftovers.
Always a treat.
Get ready to go back into the grind next week. Who got the Sunday night games today?
Dang, that's a good question. Let me see.
Yeah, let me see. What's the games on right now? NFL games on right now. I'm gonna fall asleep to those.
So Panthers and Raiders, that's a snooze fest. Well, Panthers are up 27-7. So okay, that's interesting. Over the Raiders. Seahawks
over the Dolphins. Panthers 27-7 over the Raiders.
Oh my God. 28-6 Ravens Cowboys. Jeez. Lions are all over the Cardinals right now. Rams are just getting smoked out.
Cowboys fans going through it. Oh, the Falcons Chiefs tonight. I'm supposed to go watch this.
Yep.
I'm some Falcons fans.
Jaguars Bills. It's a doubleheader tomorrow. Jaguars Bills and Commanders Bengals.
Y'all get to it. Enjoy some football. Hopefully y'all enjoying some good college football as well out there. Shout out to Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes for that big time comeback yesterday, bro. That was crazy. If you watched that game, that was fun to watch. Anyway, man, I'll check y'all out Tuesday or Thursday. We're gonna do it all 22. Probably gonna be Tuesday, maybe Thursday. I don't know. Might need some distraction.
Let the steam kind of come off this real quick.
I'm trying to beat people to it the whole time, so it's probably gonna be Tuesday.
Probably
trying to beat people to it. But it's been fun, man. We're gonna check in with y'all on Tuesday, man. Have fun with it. Don't be too crazy on Twitter, man. I know sometimes we can't help it, but we'll see y'all next time. Y'all know it for now. Until next time, for my man Bishop and Chicago Bears 360, you know what we say on the show, past, present, or future. We always bear down. See y'all next time. Peace.